Boom. What's up, everybody? We are back. Tuesday night AMA, a little bit earlier because your boy is waking up at 3 a.m. to take his ass to work. But it's what you got to do. It's what you got to do. But I'm here. I'm engaged. Let's go, Adam. You ready to do this? Tuesday night AMA? Feels different being an hour early, but feels the same? Same but different?
Same but different. Yeah, I'm ready, man. Let's go. Tuesday night AMA. House of the Tear Down.
Man, you get out there with some of these fucking thumbnails. you get out there, man. You got Mila in the Discord being like, Mike's feeling himself. Like, I had nothing to do with this. I am not this is not me.
Hey, Mike didn't have anything to do with the thumbnail, but we all know he's feeling himself. All right, don't let him.
Usually, but just be honest. I'm a basic bitch. All right, that's me. I'm a pumpkin spice latte. I like to wear Uggs.
Mike's basic. Been on the pumpkin spice latte all day. I love
pumpkin spice. That's me.
I'm a basic girl. I like what I like. You know, it's simple.
I like what I like.
Yeah.
Right. I like to dress up. You know, go for fall. I like fall. I like leaves. That kind of stuff. I don't know what's going on. Jay, glad to see you in here, buddy. And Nick's in here already. Zach, of course, Zach's in. Zach was tapped in earlier to the All 22 stream. Just said he's just medicated up on his couch, just talking to his TV.
I love what I'm hearing.
That's my guy right there. Gonna get medicated up and just talk to me, even though I can't hear him. It's great.
For sure.
Kyle's in here. Mello. Hello, what's up, buddy? And Joey Cheese Sticks finally making a live stream. Heard that on Waking Up at 3. Oh, it's interesting. That's for sure. I don't know if I want to do it forever, but they got to move me around, right? New job, got to get me used to all the schedules that I may have to cover. So here we are.
How's it going, man? What's going on with you tonight? You know, talk to the people.
I'm doing good, buddy. I'm doing good. It is that day. I kind of dread this day every year, from a Dynasty aspect. All right, it's fun to talk about. There's news, but the bottom of my rosters are just in fucking shambles. Most of them got like 4 or 5 dudes with no team. Right? Just, oh yeah, fuck this guy. Damn it. Now I got to find a replacement. And when we're talking about these leagues where you got 35 to 40 roster spots at them, the waiver wires, it's scary out there. Like, you're just trying to find a dude with a pulse. And then for us, with how many best ball leagues we're doing, holy shit, man. Like, I just need somebody who's like alive and gets a jersey. Like, they're going to get a jersey and a number tomorrow. That's all I'm looking for, pretty much. It's rough. I see you are out there cleaning up a few of your rosters. I saw an Adrian Peterson drop from you. Bravo, buddy. You finally
listen,
did
there was a couple, man. You know, we got so many leagues now. There was a few that it was like, oh, dude, this is embarrassing that I have Andrew Luck on one of my teams. I didn't realize, and Adrian Peterson. It's like, fuck, that's bad.
Man, I saw that drop. I was like, did he really still have these dudes? Jeez, Adam. Come on, represent the brand here.
What's going on, Barry? We appreciate everybody in here, man. I was trying to figure out. I had to get the comments and reactions up. I had to pull them on here.
Man, I'm pretty sure you're like the reason I need like anti-tanking rules, because these are on obviously not contenders that you were going for. But Jesus, man, I'm gonna be like, I didn't think I needed them in best ball because it just automatically starts. You can't intentionally tank. But you might be able to intentionally tank if you got fucking Andrew Luck and Adrian Peterson still on your team. Jesus, man.
Yeah, the Andrew Luck was a stash that I should have probably cut like early last season or before the season started last year. Adrian Peterson was like, actually, like, what are you doing with him on a rebuild? The fuck? What am I? You know, sometimes you got to get your life together, man. We've come a long way in a year.
We have. Yeah, I'm not going to give you too much shit because I'm pretty sure it's the same league where I have the contender, right? The all-in best ball roster, the OG. And, that one's rough, buddy. It's actually fucking rough.
None of your business, man. What's good? What is good, fellas? What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. We're back Tuesday. Dynasty Barry says quality of the stream is looking great. I'm posted up on the couch instead of the computer. Okay, we're on Dynasty
Love it.
Barry's big screen. I like to hear this.
Unfortunately, my head is probably huge. It's just, it's got to be scary. It's got to be a scary sight, I'm sure.
Hey man, but those blues, man, in the high quality. Whew.
Yeah. Adam, I got to ask you. So, with all the roster cut downs,
Mm-hmm.
just right off the top, was there
Yeah.
any that you saw that just got you? Like it felt like I was really pulling for this guy, or you had a lot of shares, or like you were starting to believe, and then just gone. It's over. It's done for him.
There was a few, man, that I was like, man, I remember when I actually thought that there was a pulse on this guy, and you're like, wow, we've come a long way. It's funny, man. A couple years ago, I remember like in chat with Mike Lou when he was with BDGE, like we were talking about Preston Williams. I wasn't really buying in. He's like, listen, man, I think it could be a thing. Kind of got me in on Preston Williams because of how cheap he was, and man, I think I had to just let him go on 4 or 5 teams. It's like, dude, he's toast, buddy. Like just let it happen. He's not. If he's not happening in Miami, it's not happening anywhere else.
I thought Devontae Price was going to be a thing.
Ooh.
I think I had a lot of Devontae Price that I had to cut. And I got a lot of Tyler Goodson too, but from
What's
Iowa.
Good, Alex.
A lot of Tyler Goodson. But the thing is, I think he might come back on the practice squad because they only have 2 running backs on the roster with Kylan Hill on the pup.
Right.
So I think there's a good chance he comes back. I don't think there's much of a chance for Devontae Price. Like he didn't do shit. Didn't do shit in training camp or preseason. So I think it's a wrap. Like he'll have to catch on somewhere else, maybe on somebody else's practice squad. But woo, that one hurt, man. That one was like I hit a lot of cut buttons on Devontae Price today.
So it's funny. We got a few questions. Rojo Fish says, "What's up, everybody? What's up, Rojo Fish?" Dynasty Alex says, "How long the shit show been going?" Mike, we started this a little over a year ago now, end of July, right?
1 year and 1 month exactly.
Yeah.
1 year, 1 month. Very first thing I talked about is how Trey Sermon was overrated and shit. So it's gonna last forever. That the first take that I gave in public.
I love it.
Right.
My very first tweet was on the same topic. I said the 49ers have left Trey Sermon on the taxi squad. So
Rip.
R.I.P.
Rip.
So Zachary Coleman hits us with a question here, Mike. Let's get to some of these, man. I've been thinking about buying into Christian Kirk today. How much are you paying, and am I crazy?
We ain't giving a first. That's pretty easy.
Don't you dare do that. Please don't do that.
Not
even in best ball, do not do that.
I got to see where he's going. Let me pull that up right now too, because I kind of just want to see where he was for the month.
You notice our guy Nate's been really, really pumping him up.
Well, it doesn't hurt, right, that Chenault's gone.
Correct.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. And Nate brought up a fantastic point I saw in the tweet about it where, we kind of assumed he didn't have a lot of target competition, but you think about Laviska Shenault had over 100 targets last year, and now that's gone.
Yeah.
So, it kind of is what it is. Christian Kirk, man, I wish I had more Christian Kirk. I ain't going to lie.
I have him a few places on the contenders I built this offseason in startups. Like it felt like as I was getting into that teen rounds, like, all right, I'm going to pull the trigger. I don't love it, but on a contender, I pulled 2 or 3 times. So I'm not overly exposed by any means, but I have enough to feel
so
like.
So the 1009, that's where he's going.
Dude, I got him. I remember getting him in like the 12th and 13th, so he's definitely gone up in value.
I will say this. I don't think there's much difference between Brandon Cooks and Christian Kirk.
That's a good point.
The difference mainly being Christian Kirk's a little younger, and Brandon Cooks has kind of always been underrated, but he's only going in the 9th round. If I'm thinking about my contenders this year, Brandon Cooks is always somebody that I'm like trying to get on a contending roster, especially in best ball, but even in lineup leagues, like Brandon Cooks is a great 4th, 5th wide receiver to have. I really think about it now. If I'm looking at it, man, I don't think there's too much difference. And I think this is one of the faults that I've had this year is I've tried to do a good job of correlating it. For example, if I'm high on Elijah Moore. If I'm high on Garrett Wilson, in return, I should probably be high on Zach Wilson, right? I try to have that corollary. Like, if I'm high on the receiver, I should probably be high on the quarterback throwing the football. But conversely, if I'm high on the quarterback, which I'm high on Trevor Lawrence, why am I not high on his weapons? Even though they're kind of gross, right? Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram. This is my fault. I think I overlooked this one. I think I overlooked the Christian Kirk thing, even though now that I'm thinking about it now that Zach posed the question, Brandon Cooks, Christian Kirk, I still want Brandon Cooks on a contender, but shit, man, Christian Kirk's got to be like right there. So second and a junk player, easy send for me. Easy send for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the thing with him too is though, Mike, I know Laviska's gone, right? And I know that we had hope for him last year, and we've really got to the point where, like, if something happens, we won't be surprised, but we're certainly not expecting anything. We've kind of moved on from Laviska being a breakout. But it does feel like him moving on, now there's really no mouths that, like, even scare you, right? There's literally, it's him, Zay Jones, like you said, Evan Ingram, and then if, Travis Etienne coming out of the backfield. Like, it does.
Technically Marvin Jones, too, but.
Oh, please. Yeah, you're right, though.
Technically,
we are owed a bet from Marvin Jones, so we never.
Technically, I'm owed $50 because
Same
Marvin
here.
Jones.
So, yeah, that we'll never see that. That guy changed his name, new identity. But yeah, I'll do a second and a junk player for Kirk easily. Yeah, I think a second in a piece is realistically what I'd be willing to pay. I wouldn't go much higher than that, but I do think, Mike, now that he kind of at this point looks like easily the number one there. Like you said, I mean, that team probably still isn't going to be great. They're probably going to throw a lot. I think T-Law takes a step forward. Kirk could be a big beneficiary of all of those things, man. It's a good question. Dynasty Alex was saying, I meant this stream. Big ups to you guys. You've been getting it from the mud. So the stream, like, when did we start doing the Tuesday AMA stream? A few months ago?
Maybe in March.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been
March, April.
Yep.
Somewhere around there. I was going to ask you just real quick on Christian Kirk before we bounce out of here, because there's some interesting names around here.
Okay.
Christian Kirk or Christian Watson?
Kirk.
Okay. Kirk or Dotson?
Dotson.
Kirk or Hopkins?
Ugh.
I know, right?
I'm not a believer in Hopkins at this point, but if you took Hopkins, I mean, I would 100% understand it.
Kirk or Tony?
I think Tony's upside is very real, but I think the safer play is Kirk. I think that Kirk's floor is so much safer than Tony's. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that realistically even the upside is all that much higher with Tony, if we're even being fair. So I think I'd probably lean Kirk.
I think it's pretty safe. This is one of the guys that I think we not differ on, but we're higher on consensus just because of talent. But I'll ask it: Kirk or Chase Claypool?
I still want to say Claypool, man.
It's gross to say.
It feels really gross, though, man.
But that's the range that he's in. Like, I think there's a few guys in there where it's like Christian Kirk should be up there. Like, we should be talking about him in the 9th round of startups.
Mike, you know what? Since you talked Dotson there, we got a question from Rojo Fish here.
Boom.
I've been a Jahan Dotson guy for a long time now. Welcome with us, buddy. We love having you and hearing that. Was bummed he went to Washington, but it looks like he's never coming off the field. 70 catches for Dotson this season, or are my rookie glasses on?
70 is pretty steep. Catches.
What's realistic, Mike? What's realistic? Let's talk about this one, man. I'm very high on Dotson too. You and I both are.
I would say 90 targets seems like a reasonable expectation.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, I guess that probably puts him in the 65 to 70 catch range.
Yeah, man. I mean, Devontae Smith last year had 64 catches in a very low passing offense.
Very, very, very low.
He was the alpha though in that offense. I'm just trying to think.
It kind of feels like a type of receiver who's going to get somewhere between 60, 65 catches, 900 yards, and 4 or 5 touchdowns. And I think that's reasonable to project for him. Nothing spectacular, but we're talking wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, possibly wide receiver 5 territory.
So let me say this. I would say, I think if he stays healthy, I think Rojo Fish is on to something here that he's going to be on the field the whole time. I don't think if he's healthy all season, he's going to see less than 50, 55 receptions. I think he's probably, like you said, I think if we're being honest, 65 would be a good season for him. 65 catches would be a good season. If he gets to 65 catches and 900 yards, I'm going to feel very good about what Dotson did this year.
Let me see who. All right, so target-wise last year, Jesus.
I mean, Devontae Smith had 100. Waddle had 140.
I'm just looking at that offense, but it's so hard because Taylor Heinicke is ass, and he ran that offense all year. Yeah, Adam Humphries was the second leading target getter with 62.
He's gonna. I would be shocked if he doesn't get more than that.
But DeAndre Carter got 44 targets. Our guy Diami Brown, who we thought was going to be something, who again is probably just nothing now. Yeah, he had 25. So
I mean, the other thing too is not only Heinicke was bad, but when you say those names, right? Diami Brown was horrible. He was not worthy of being an outside guy. I think that Humphries and Carter are not anywhere near as talented as Dotson. And I think the other thing with Dotson is if they're wanting to keep him on the field a lot, I bet you they scheme up a lot of stuff for him in the slot too. I could see 100. I could see 100 targets, and I don't think that's being crazy, honestly.
I'm gonna stick with 90. I don't know why.
It's fair,
I guess.
No, that's
90
targets
feels
is fair.
right. 90, 65 catches, 90 targets, and 800 yards. I think that's where I'm going to be projection wise, which is fine for me. It's his rookie year.
Yeah.
And Carson Wentz is what he is. He's Carson Wentz.
Yep.
Obvious upgrade over Taylor Heinicke, but he's still Carson Wentz. He hasn't changed that, no matter how much bear hunting he does.
Dynasty Alex says, pulled off the trade of the week today, boys. Daniel Jones plus a 23 third late for Sam Howell and Eno Benjamin. Damn, so I'm assuming you're getting Danny Dimes for nothing here. Ha.
Unless you're that excited about Eno Benjamin and
Mike,
Sam Howell. I like Sam Howell.
Mike would be the one guy that might give you the win on the other side. He loves Sam Howell, but no, that's easily Daniel Jones, man. Come on.
Not going to lie.
Alex, man, I need to know who you're playing with, and if you could, hit my DMs up and get him in some of our leagues, because, wow. Sam Howell and Eno Benjamin?
The other side, and that's actually his side. I'd hate for that to be a thing. Crossing my fingers.
Alex, I believe that I have so much faith in Dynasty Alex that he doesn't have the other side. If you do, man, sorry, but we're just telling you how we feel.
Sorry, not sorry. That's what you wanted to go there. All right.
All right. So here we go. What kind of draft capital should one shoot for a Mitchell and a Davis price package? Okay, so TDP and Elijah Mitchell. Now, Joey, you're selling these guys, right? Or are you buying? If you're buying, don't buy the package. Period.
I don't do packages.
I'm good on buying a handcuff.
So I called myself a basic bitch, and now I said I don't do packages. It's been a interesting night already, Adam.
Mike,
back to the studio.
As you notice, Mike's not even drinking like he was last time, and he's still coming with some heat, man. Not buying packages.
I learned my lesson last week. Dehydration and me and vodka do not get along and mix well.
I'm not gonna lie, Mike. I had a blast with you last week. He said, someone says selling hard of the package. You're selling hard. Okay, cool. Yeah. Mike, what would you be selling for here?
Man, I'd try to take any first. 23, 24, and just cash out.
Yeah, if you can get a 23 first for both of them, I would do it. Mike, do you
I don't think you're
there's
getting
people
a first
that are?
Mitchell.
I don't
think individually you're not getting a first for Mitchell, but I think you could sell them on the. Here's a package, right? You're gonna get the starter. I need a first.
Yeah,
I think that's where I'm at.
I think realistically, The only way you're getting a first straight up for Mitchell is if you hold him and he's coming off one of these weeks where he has the 20-plus carries, 100 yards, touchdown, and you get someone to buy in on that again. I don't think someone's paying a 23 first right now straight up, man. I just don't see it.
If you do get a 23 first straight up for him, I want to see it. That's pretty good.
Put it in the trade show. We would love to see it. But yeah, Joey, I think if you can get a 23 first, Mike, how about if it was a 24 first?
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay,
cool.
I'm with you too.
See you later.
Yeah.
Maybe I play like the poor me card, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna need a third too. Like, just give me a third.
I use a third on Pierce this draft, so I need at least a third back. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna need at least that.
Mike, let's talk about the thumbnail, man. So,
all right.
Reason I put this in, right? Well, one, there's a lot of Richardson hype that's kind of buzzing around, but I think we talk all the time about tearing down, and a lot of times you get a pick, right? So if you get a pick, I feel like, you know, if you do the thumbnail and it says Fields, you're trading away Burrow and you're getting back Fields in the 23 first. Like, people that really understand the values of picks might get it. But like, if you say to yourself, Anthony Richardson is hitting, and you're talking about a 6'4", 240 first round quarterback, like that, I think seeing the player, we talk about this all the time, the players and the picks, right? And how different they can be to someone's eye. Like if you knew that Anthony Richardson hit and got first round draft capital, tell me you're not taking that other side in a hurry.
Well, for one, me and just the theoretical where that pick would be, right? The 109, 110, 111.
Mm-hmm.
And Fields is enough for me to move off of Joe Burrow.
Correct.
Well, that's me. But say it's not for you, right? The reason I do is because exactly what you're talking about. Like, I think about what that pick could be if I actually make the pick and I don't use it for something else or go get another actual player and then tie a real player's name to that pick. But in this situation, Adam, you get Fields, which Fields probably gets you, like, in my opinion, 70, 80% of the way to like a Joe Burrow, somewhere along there. Like, it's not Joe Burrow. That's why Joe Burrow's ranked higher than Fields for both of us. We're not that fucking crazy, but it gets you part of the way there. The pick or what the player could be or could become, like Anthony Richardson, like in your scenario, if he hits with everything that we know about him, size, speed, arm, that kind of stuff, if he hits, you have completely smashed and killed that deal. Just absolutely ripped it out of the park. Now, maybe you break even or slightly win. I think you still win even if he's just gets first round draft capital, Adam. If he just gets first round draft capital, you still win. The only way you lose is if he's like a third round pick.
Mike,
right?
If he gets first round draft capital, see, this is why I kind of use this one, because I feel like there's a range of outcomes even for Anthony Richardson, right? Like you brought it up. If he's a first round pick, his athletic upside in a first round draft capital is gold for fantasy, even if it's very short lived, right? Like, look at Trey Lance before Jimmy G scared everyone off. And stop, man, please. Mike, can we stop the crazy bullshit? But the reason I bring it up is, even if he's a back-end first-round pick, if he has first-round draft capital and is going to be a team's 3-year guy, for fantasy, that's incredibly valuable.
Huge.
And that would be probably more of a late 23 first. But, Mike, think about this. What if he's a top 10 pick?
Yeah.
What if he hits so well this year that the cannon's there? You see he's kind of worked on the quicker release, right? He still can run. Whew, you crush this deal. And Mike, the reason I bring it up is this. Keep Trade Cut right now tells you that Joe Burrow nets you Justin Fields in an early 23 first.
Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out.
I'm just telling you what I'm reading. And like, if you told me it was mid or late, I still want Fields. Late, I could see someone saying, like, you know what, I don't want to do it. Fine. For me, though, because of how deep the 23 class is, I would do that, knowing I'm still getting Fields. And then, fuck,
Think
man, even if that's a great receiver, because the draft goes a certain way. Like, not to mention what you can do with the pick before you even hit the draft button. It's crazy,
think
man.
about it. Think about it this way, all right? So I'll put the scenario out there for you. Joe Burrow does what he did last year, this year again. Does he go up in dynasty value or does he stay about the same?
I don't think Joe Burrow has a ability to go up unless injuries happen in front of him. Period.
Okay. So he's going to stay about the same.
Yeah,
right?
I think if it's a good year, he stays same. Yes.
Yeah. So he's going to stay about the same. Justin Fields has a bad year. But bad year in the effect that, they're not replacing him. It's just a bad statistical year. Like the team struggles. It's not very well. He has moments, but he has his rookie year again in his sophomore year.
Rojo Fish says about the same too for Burrow. Yeah.
Fields probably goes down, right? But how far? Like we're still talking about a quarterback going into his third year, who we like his traits, who has first round draft capital. If he's getting his third year, right, he probably drops down to the fifth, sixth round of startups, give or take.
Yeah, I would say, yeah. I think
At some
that's right.
point,
Fifth.
positional scarcity still kicks in. You still got to take fucking quarterbacks. That's where he's going to be.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Yep.
Anthony Richardson, right? So you've gone from Joe Burrow down to now like a sixth rounder instead of a third rounder, right? You're like, holy shit. The reason I love doing these 2-for-1s is because of Anthony Richardson, like you were saying, if he gets top 10 draft capital and makes up for the Justin Fields bad year, where's he going to go, Adam? Second, third round. He's just going to replace exactly where fucking Justin Fields was. Like you have,
yes,
you get like 4 outs for winning the trade, and you get 1 out of just absolute devastation. Justin Fields' ass, and Anthony Richardson doesn't get taken in the first round.
Right. Correct.
That's the 1 out for losing the trade. But the other 4, like even if Fields is below average, if Anthony Richardson just goes in the first round, like, all right, maybe you break even. But if any of those scenarios hit where Fields is good or Anthony Richardson goes in the top 10, you win. And then what happens if you hit the ultimate jackpot?
Oh,
Fields ascends to a QB1 territory and Anthony Richardson gets top 10 draft capital. There's no fucking way you'd want Joe Burrow over that. You're like, now I got 2. I got my quarterback and my Superflex position filled. I'm done forever. Peace.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Zach hits. We got a couple things to get to in here in a second, but Zachary says something very important to keep in mind with Fields next year is that the Bears have like double the cap room than the second team behind them. So, yeah, I mean, I think we all know the weaponry this year is problematic, and he's going to have to be superhuman as far as NFL goes, like to win games. But I think he could still take a step forward even with bad weapons. I think his legs provide him a lot for fantasy. And like you said, even in that scenario, even if he falls a little in stock, like I think there's a chance he still is someone that I want in Dynasty, even if he doesn't absolutely kill it this year. So
and everybody on the Fields point anyways, like we know the weapons are bad and the offensive line isn't the greatest, but I made the case for Justin Fields. I'm seeing everybody just rave about like the unknown guys, the Isaiah Pacheco's, or I'm not gonna say Damian Pierce was an unknown guy, but like, second, third round draft pick in your rookie drafts.
right.
People are raving about their performance in the training camp in the preseason and elevating them to crazy heights. Fucking Justin Fields has played really well in the preseason. Like every time I'm watching the Bears play and Justin Fields play, like he looks good. The offense looks fine. Now, granted, it's preseason. So again, I don't get too high on it, but it's always like we do this for like certain players, but we don't do it for others because it doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah.
And it just seems like on the Justin Fields thing, I'm not seeing all the bullshit that I see for all these other guys that we want to push the narrative. So,
Mike, real quick, man, I got bad news. You hit it on the head, unfortunately, and we were saying the deal wasn't good for our boy Dynasty Alex, and if you got the other side, and he did. So,
oh man, I'm sorry, Alex.
Listen, I don't know. For me, I just think with Jones this year, like I'm 100% with him here. He basically says this: I got the house side. I'd let go of DJ with the new QB coming down the pipeline for the Giants next year, and Jones won't be the starter after the Giants, in my opinion. So I'm assuming he says after they suck this year. Let's see what else he says here. I've seen some flashes from Hal in the preseason that I bought him up where I can. I mean, I just think you probably, because of positional scarcity, could have hopefully shot for something higher. I'm totally with you that probably at the end of this year that Daniel Jones is not going to have a job.
Is done.
He's done. And I think the thing with him too is, like, as you saw with Alex Leatherwood, I don't think anyone but the Giants are making him a top 6 pick. So I'm not sure that he bounces around and gets another job. I'll say this, though. That being said, there's always so many teams that need quarterbacks. He's been horrible, so if he's bad again this year, I would think he's done, period. But it also wouldn't surprise me if someone brought him in to give him a shot.
Let's put it this way, though. Sam Howell, Benjamin was right with the package that he got.
Correct. Yep.
Adam, are you paying a mid to late 23 second for those two dudes right now?
No.
Nobody is. And the fact remains, even though Daniel Jones is probably butt cheeks, it's horrible.
Yep.
It's Superflex, and that's the price you can get when somebody's quarterback needy and needs a spot start.
Yeah.
From a guy that they know is a starter. So that's what we mean about it. Like, shit, if you would have got Sam Howell and like a couple thirds, you're much better setting yourself up than like Sam Howell and Benjamin. You're putting your chips down on a couple players that probably ain't going to do shit.
Yeah. Unless Wentz fails and Howell gets a shot and looks good. Like, he may, with 5th round draft capital, Mike, as much as you and I liked him early, he may not even really get a real shot in the NFL with 5th round draft capital.
And that's only, I'm just speaking from lineup terms. That doesn't even cover best ball, where it's like, yeah, definitely. I'd rather just have Sam Howell because it gives me a shot at maybe he falls into a 20-point week and gets me a spot start here and there in best ball. Makes the lineup a few times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like completely out on Sam Howell. It's just I think he's a longer shot. So I think you could have gotten a little more for Jones, but it's probably not going to break your entire dynasty team. I wouldn't be too worried about it.
Well, speaking of that longer shot, did you see all the Matt Corral I had to cut?
Oof, man,
all of it.
Yeah,
there's the roster clogger, Matt Corral.
Yeah, I only kept him on rebuilders, man. If I'm rebuilding, I kept him. If I'm on a contender, man, he's got to go, buddy. I mean, you and I both know it. So we got
even on them rebuilders, he's got to go.
You think so? Well, yeah, I mean, dude, 39 roster spots, like, and rebuilding. Like, I'm not saying he's gonna hit, but filling 39 roster spots in some of these leagues you have is tough.
Yes, it is.
Now, I will probably end up cutting him at some point this year, but I haven't done it on a couple teams just yet, and I probably have to, and I probably need to just swallow my 110 or whatever the fuck I took him at and just
it was bad. I was looking at it. You pull up the history. Thanks, Sleeper, for putting that in because it's a cool feature, except for in this case, I pull it up and I'm like, all these pre-NFL rookie drafts where I took them at like the 105, the 106. Yeah. Here we are. Haven't even played a real NFL game yet, and I'm cutting my rookie 105.
Yeah, so you know what? It's great timing, too, because Dynasty Alex, there you go. Even if we think your Daniel Jones trade is bad, what you lost in value is nowhere near our first-round Matt Corrals that we just cut. All right, so don't feel too bad about it. All right, Ty says, big boy trade. I have 623 first in total. I traded ETN. Oh, no, he says 623 first in total. Trade ETN and 2 mid to late 23 first for DK and either the 101 or 102. He's actively tanking. I'm in win now. So wait a minute. So you traded away ETN and 2 mid to late 23 first, or did you give him DK and his first back?
Yeah, I need more clarification on that.
I would think he's buying his first back. I would think if I'm actively tanking, dude, you're gonna have to fucking send me something crazy for me to sell the 101, 102.
Which, if you are and you got ETN and 2 mid to late 23 first for DK and the 101, I might consider that. Just to be honest.
Yeah, just regardless of what Ty said, he said no. I'd be
sending ETN away. So he trades away ETN and 2 mid to late 23 first for DK and the 101 or 102. No, I still want your win now. Fuck, I want ETN and the 2 first.
Oh, he hasn't agreed to it yet. Okay. So Ty, here. So the way I would think about it is this, right? ETN, in my opinion, is the best win now piece of the deal. Now,
For
I
sure.
think DK on the Dynasty still is someone I'm actively very in on, but I am a little. I think he's more of a wide receiver too this year. Even as great as he is long term. ETN, I think there's a chance for him to get high end RB2, back end RB1 production this year. Right? I mean,
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy.
no, I
I don't
mean
think
that.
that's crazy.
I'm saying that's probably a good case scenario for him too. We don't necessarily know, but I want ETN on the win now tide.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if you're doing this, Ty, I would like to know like what your thought process is, just so I can understand. Like, are you doing this because you think that 101, 102 now will buy you something crazy? Because I guess if that's the case, I get where you're coming from. Oh, here we go. All right, here's the in-depth response.
He's got Chase, Keenan, and Pittman as his main guys for clarity. I think I'm just trying to grab DK before he gets an actual quarterback. Adam, you kind of do this where you don't mind on like your win now getting some picks if the deal's right.
Mm-hmm.
For me, man, if I'm already holding on to 223 firsts already and Travis Etienne, like I'm thinking about what I'm doing with those 23 picks in season when I need to bolster my roster a little bit.
Yeah.
I may need another running back, or I may need to get a quarterback, or fuck my tight ends down for the year. Now I'm really hurting at tight end. What can these 2 picks buy me?
Yeah, so
I get it, like the appeal of like Bijan and kind of playing for the future, but this is also what we talk about a lot, where we're like, you got to go in or you got to go out, right?
So,
and you got to pick your path and kind of set yourself up for the path. Like it'd be cool to win the championship and get the 101 next year, right? Everybody would love to do that. Everybody would. But I also just think about what I really want to do is just win the fucking money this year.
all right, so Ty gives us some more. This is what we need, man. All right, so Ty gives us more clarification here. So first he says, I have a stable of RBs: Jonathan Taylor, Swift, James Conner, and AJ Dillon. I'm assuming you also have ETN, considering you're talking about sending them away here.
Yeah.
So you do have a stable of running backs. Now, he also says my league is going crazy over 23 first. So this is, I think, where my suggestion and my thinking about this would be, one, what can Travis Etienne and those 2 firsts buy you to actually be in your lineup right now if everyone's going crazy over the 23 first? And if that's also the case too, then I think the second part is, like, if you're doing this saying I believe in DK as a starter in my lineup, and I think I can move 101, 102 for something fucking crazy because you have this craziness in your league for the 23 first, I get it if you're going to kind of play 4D and you're going to move that pick.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't, on a contender, actively trade away ETN and 2 chances in the 23 first for knowing I'm going to have Bijan later, because like that's almost the same scenario, Mike, of the thumbnail, right? Like the down tier, the tier down king, right? You're talking about 3 assets. I love Bijan. Love whatever 101 is going to become if it's not Bijan, if he gets hurt and he doesn't succeed. But, Mike, if 23 is as deep as we think, what if those are 2 mids? He said mid to late. What if that's 106 and 107?
And
You're talking about running backs, quarterbacks, and ETN. I would just, if you're going to do that, I would need to know you can move that 101, 102 piece for a lot. And I would kind of also make sure before you do that too, that you can't just move those mid to late 23 first for a lot right now too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. I put like Bijan, I guess, if we knew he's everything that we thought, probably like a 2nd round startup value right now.
Yeah.
You're talking ETN in the 3rd, right? So you're going from a 3 to a 2. Good on you. DK's in the 4th. But if you're talking worst case scenario, Adam, that, like you said, there's a 105, 106, 106, 107, 107, 108. I mean, those guys realistically could be going in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round of a startup next year too.
Right. Yep.
That's just a shit ton of capital to be like, to condense it. You know what I mean? Because if I'm sitting in a startup draft and somebody's like, I really want your 2nd round startup pick right now. Like, cool. What do you give me? Well, you give me your 2 and your 4, and I'll give you 2 3s and a 5.
Yep.
All right. There you go.
Yep.
Cool. I'll take the 2 3s and the 5. Easy.
Now, if you told me they're for sure locked in late, like that's yours and your team's a goon squad, and that's someone else that's like gonna meet you in the final four of the championship,
A little bit different.
little bit different discussion. But if you're telling me that truly they're mid, I'm holding those picks, man, because that so much shit can happen. We have not played a game yet, Mike. Like everybody listening, just think about this. We haven't played a game yet. Some of these contenders are going to be failed contenders. Mike, I have a failed contender that my cleanup is just hellacious. You know.
Mm-hmm. It's rough.
People have failed contenders, and if you sit on that 23 first, man, and you moved it, I prematurely, I would not like what I'm doing there.
The other hesitation about moving like a guy like ETN on a win now, you know, and going to DK, like I like DK too, and we'd like to buy DK, but the problem is like you get in season, man, sometimes running backs and those elite ones that we can trust and you just start without even thinking about, like where you don't have a decision. Like if this dude's playing and healthy, he's in my fucking lineup, those dudes cost a lot. And to get a wide receiver like that, like, you know, just your wide receiver 3 type, you know, just a guy that you can put in and, you know, not really have to think about it. I mean, those guys usually carry just a generic first round price tag. Like they're much easier to acquire. And there's so many more of them. Where running back's harder to get, so positional scarcity comes into it a little bit with me too, Adam. It's like, why do it now? Like I have a top 15 running back asset that I know I don't have to worry about too much.
Right.
DK is nice and all, but like I'm thinking with those mids, I can just go and get a wide receiver at will if I absolutely need one.
Mike, this is the other thing too, man. I don't want to take too much time on just this one question, but I feel like it's a good discussion, so I'm just going to lean into it. When I read his team, right, he's got Chase, Keenan Allen, Pittman Jr., right? So your wide receiver corp's strong. He's got Jonathan Taylor, Swift, A.J. Dillon, James Conner, and ETN. Solid there. I'm assuming he's got a pretty damn good team. This is the other thing, too, that I would be thinking about. Like sometimes when I get to this point where I have like a very big edge, like I've down-tiered enough, I've got the right roster, I have one of the best teams in the league. Sometimes in that scenario, instead of moving the 23 first right now, 2 of them, the one thing you don't know, and no one has a crystal ball. We love Jonathan Taylor, man. Like, we love him. He's been awesome. He's been injury safe. But what if he gets hurt? Like, what if this team gets 2-3 injuries? Like, now, with the 23 first, you have these 2 liquid assets that are going to appeal to anybody. And you can go backfill this goon squad that had some things break wrong, and you're still okay. So I think like I would really think hard about moving those 23 first prematurely for the 101, unless you know, like I said, the 101 is going to buy you something obnoxious.
Yeah, I remember last year we're sitting here, both of us on multiple teams, and I'm sitting with like Saquon Barkley, J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers, and Travis Etienne going like, I got the rated greatest running back core of ever, and before the season even really kicked off, I'm down to Saquon, and that only lasted a few weeks.
Ty
wasn't that great.
Ty says, as a Colts fan, don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that evil on me.
But I've experienced it with guys that I liked in the past, last year specifically, and it's just like you don't know, especially with the running back position. That's why, like, if I have them, I'm probably not moving them just because. And like Adam said, if something bad happened to it, you're in a good spot to backfill to, oh, shit, go into damage control and be able to fix it.
Right. Now, okay, so Phil says, great work, boys. Superflex tight end premium, start 9 lineup. Give Lamar and get T-Law, Kenneth Walker, and Kenny Pickett. Watson is my other QB.
See you, Lamar.
Love Lamar. I think he's a cheat code in start 9, but yeah, everybody's got their price, and this one exceeds what I believe for Lamar. You will see my Lamar out. Period.
Yep.
I think it's just too much, man. Like, to me, you're tearing down. This is a perfect example of the thumbnail again. It's a tear down, right? You're going from Lamar to – it's honestly a very similar discussion. Joe Burrow and Fields and Lamar and Trevor Lawrence, right? You're getting the 102 to 103, pretty much 4 in this class. And then you're also getting what we believe should be the 103, 104, but it's more like 109. There's too many shots at the dartboard, and I think Trevor Lawrence has a big year this year. So I'm making this move, Phil. He can go.
Even in start 9, because it's 2 quarterback assets that you're getting back plus a running back. Like if this is three wide receivers, like just randomly, like Watson, Pickens, and Olave. I'm like, start 9 now. Fuck you. I want the quarterback. Give me Lamar. Even though it hurts to say it, but you're getting 3 premium assets at 3 premium positions, so I'm totally good with it.
Our boys in the chat, tell them Gino, gotta go Lamar. Got to go. I love it, man.
Gotta go. It's too much to say no to.
Yep.
Really is.
Let's see what else we got here. That's pretty much it as far as the questions that I can see as of right now. I don't think I oh, you know what? No, I did miss one. Glad I scrolled through.
It's a good thing.
I'm sat holding Skylar Thompson and Minshew in a Superflex. For that reason you made about QB value. Would you rather drop middling unproven receivers? Hey, Cody, what is this you?
Cody had to get a Skylar Thompson shit in.
No, I'm just kidding. Twin Caliber UK. I'm not really worried about holding Skylar Thompson all that much, Mike. What say you?
Skylar Thompson or Minshew? No.
Yeah.
No. Like when I talk about quarterback value, I mean dudes with jobs. And this is the exact reason I cut all these Matt Corral shares. Like, what is he? And like you said, I'm holding him on a rebuild. He's just taking up a fucking roster spot for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I get it. We play in some of these deep-ass leagues, but I can find somebody. Like that Deion Jackson, right? Colts' third running back. He's got a pulse. He's on a team.
Yep.
God, I hope nothing bad ever happens to Jonathan Taylor. But if it did, maybe I get a little value out of Deion Jackson. Somebody's like, I'll give you a third for him. Perfect. Is anybody ever going to give me a third for Skylar Thompson or Gardner Minshew? Probably not, because they're probably not playing.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Listen, I think these are guys where this is actually kind of good discussion, Mike. We don't need to put a ton of time into it, but the QB the scarcity at quarterback is a big deal, and you should have quarterbacks, but ones that really have realistic opportunities to see the field that are not based on injury and injury alone. Like Skylar Thompson and Minshew do not really possess the opportunity to get on the field without significant injuries. So to me, those are guys that I would be comfortable moving off of. And I think that would be the best way for me to describe the cutoff. I don't know if you have anything more on that, Mike.
No, I mean, Scott and Eric do a great job of this when they talk about roster construction at the bottom of their rosters and like what they're looking to do.
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of see a case for quarterback, all right? What I can't see a case for is like these dumpster ass wide receivers that are never going to be anything.
Right.
And what they like to churn over the bottom of the roster is just running backs, right? Just fuck, this guy might start this week. This might be Tristan Ebner, or insert one of these guys. Julius Chestnut made the fucking roster, right?
Yep.
Like you might have 1 week where I need to plug him into a lineup, and it's already worth it. It's already paid off for me. In best ball, I give a little bit more thought to the wide receivers because all you got to do is just catch a pass and fall into the end zone one time sometimes, and you're almost going to make a lineup. But the quarterback position, man, we're talking like QB3s, like actual on their team QB3s, like Skylar Thompson, Gardner Minshew, who had his opportunity and couldn't do anything with it, I guess.
Yeah, Minshew's a good example of there was a better time to move him. I think I've cut Minshew everywhere I have him, man. And I'm not lineup or best ball doesn't really matter. I think those are guys that like I would prefer to roster somebody else unless it's super deep lineup and there's just like no one else out there. Dynasty Alex is back. Listen to the 4D podcast at work today where you listed your guys for the year. Are there any honorable mentions, sleepers that didn't make the show? I got one. What about you, Mike?
Bro, I could do an entire show on Antonio Gibson, but I didn't want to subject people to that for the 77th time. So
there you go, Antonio Gibson. I would say I don't even know if he fits sleeper pretty well because I feel like the entire community really is asleep on him. Noah Fant, man. Like it's if you haven't checked it out, Dynasty Alex, go watch the Noah Fant video. I think the community's view of him has really fallen far below I could ever have expected it to. just because of all the traits he has, the fact that Seattle picked up his fifth-year option, took him on as part of this rebuild and draft capital, basically. I mean, he's still so young and still possesses such rare upside as far as like the prospect. I don't know, man. 12th round to me is just, it's fucking outrageous. So I guess that would be my answer.
I would say anybody we did a individual player short on YouTube video.
There you go.
We like in some way. Other than
very good
the
one.
only negative one I did, and it has to be me to be the negative one, was Chris Godwin. So
I would do one. We can hardly get done all the positive ones we want, you know?
We're a positive show.
we try to be.
Show. We try to be.
Phil's back, says, thanks, boys. Listen, Phil, first and foremost, to thanks, boys, you're welcome. And sorry, one more. Don't apologize for asking questions on the AMA. Come out here and ask as many fucking questions as you want. We are here to drink and talk with you and answer your questions.
Just water this week for me.
Mike needs a recoup week, all right? He'll be back boozing next week, all right? He may not get as drunk as last show because that was honestly, in my year of knowing Mike, the drunkest I've ever seen him. I'm actually still pretty impressed for how drunk he was that we did 3 fucking episodes that day.
My wife was not impressed when I pissed on the floor and then threw up all over the bathroom at 12 a.m. She was not happy at all. I explained to her it's a medical condition. I worked too hard during the day. I got too dehydrated, and then it just went straight into the veins, baby. I don't
listen. It's like a seesaw, right? For her, you were way down. For me, you were way up. You know, so
all right.
I think it evened out. Anyway, the question is: Superflex tight end premium start 9 lineup. Give AJ Brown, get a 23 first, assume mid to late, and Claypool. This is a question that starts tugging at our heartstrings as far as the tear down, but is this too far, Mike? I'll let you start.
Give AJ Brown, get a 23 first, and Claypool. Fuck, start 9. Give me AJ Brown.
Okay, thank you.
I got to tear up here.
Yeah, man. I think this is, Phil, the one thing I will say, lineup in best ball, how many starters? Like we talked about this on a few episodes. We probably need to do a 4D. Maybe tomorrow, Mike, we'll do 4D on, or sometime soon. You know, the differences in knowing your leagues. Because start 9, as much as we talk tear down, like in best ball, I think I have a real conversation about the other side. But in lineup, start 9, like you're not going to feel great about pushing the button on Claypool unless he gets a new situation and totally changes what we saw last year.
Please just trade his ass to the Bears. Can we just get it over with?
God, that would at least be exciting. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to feel great pressing the button there. And then, like, you know, as much as I love the 23 class, if that becomes late, I want AJ Brown. Best way I could say it.
I love it. Dr. B. Harris has got one there for us. J.K. Dobbins.
Ooh, let's talk about it, man. Go ahead.
All right, so he said, what trade value would be enough to trade him away rather than hold on? Adam, I'm going to be a weirdo. If it's just a late first, I'm holding on to him.
For sure.
I need more than a late first. Mid to early? Single? Now we can talk. Like it or not.
I would do it if I know it's got a chance to be early and it's more of a mid pick. Mike, because here's the thing. If you have Dobbins at this point, now I guess I'm speaking from how I would do my teams. If I have Dobbins at this point, I was hoping that he's going to come back and be someone that's competing on my team, that's a contender or pushing to be a contender, right?
Yes, right now. Yep.
So let's talk about it from that team build for a second, because if you're a contending team, all right, and you have J.K. Dobbins, and you're worried this year it's not going to happen. Okay, let's talk about next year for a second. So let's say it's Sean Tucker, maybe, your guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sean Tucker comes in the league. Let's say he gets second-round draft capital.
Ooh, now you're getting spicy.
I'm trying to throw a hypothetical out here, because now Sean Tucker with second-round draft capital, or Breece Hall a year removed from this injury on a contending team. Because that's what you're like, unless you're going to move the pick, because there's obviously 40 ways. But I'm just talking, like, if we're going to do the pick versus the player, And then if you hold the pick, so in a year from now, which do you prefer?
You meant J.K. Dobbins a year removed, like this time next year?
Yes.
Okay. Just said you put in Brees Hall in there, throw him.
Oh man, I totally misspoke.
I was like, holy
I
shit!
totally apologize, man. I don't
We
know why
jumped
the
off
hell
the rail.
I don't know why the hell I got Brees Hall in there. I'm sleep deprived, and
So this time next year, Sean Tucker with second round draft capital or J.K. Dobbins fully removed
from the ACL. Correct. Yes.
on a contender.
Correct.
With J.K. Dobbins.
And this is why I'm saying this though, because I know that's where you're going to answer it.
Not knowing the situation of Sean Tucker, but let's just say like it's a rookie.
Because here's the thing, Mike. We love a lot of these young running backs.
Yes.
Like look at some of the good ones though. Jonathan Taylor in his rookie year had a lot of scares and didn't give you a lot of production early.
Yeah, it was all late. Yep.
DeAndre Swift, same thing.
Yes. Cam Akers, fuck all.
Cam Akers didn't do dick until the end.
Playoffs.
I mean,
it was all the playoffs.
Bro, like, I just think we have to be realistic about the value of the 23 running back immediately on a contender. Now, if it's Bijan, I get it. That man is probably going to get first-round draft capital and is probably going to be the workhorse immediately. But outside
he's got like Saquon Barkley rookie year potential. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm saying.
Fucking winning potential.
Understood there. Yes. But outside of that, like we have to be realistic about what that running back or what that player even, quarterback even. Look at the 2021 rookies in quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
What are they going to do on the contending side for you? I think we have to kind of at least understand some of that before we have this discussion.
I feel that. So, trade value. Mid to early first for me. I don't think
if it's a mid to early, I'm having a conversation.
Other than that, man, I'm holding. Like, I don't have a whole lot of reasons to sell.
Yeah.
His value's depressed. People are panicking. It is what it is. Like, you missed your window. You just got to eat shit for a while till he comes back. Full go. I don't know. Do you think it's a good sign? So, roster moves are always interesting, right?
Yeah,
brought in Kenyon Drake. And he's all right. But everybody had that Tyler Beatty love. They just cut him. Just cut him. Gus is on the pup. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Like we like to read between the lines on everything. Does that mean they feel a little bit more comfortable about JK, where they're just like, we spent a draft pick on you, but fuck it, hit the waivers. Somebody else claims you. We don't care. If they don't, we'll bring you back to the practice squad.
Yeah, I think I think they have big plans for Dobbins. I think Harbaugh, I don't know if he'll ever admit it, but is one of the dumbest people ever for doing what he did last year. And he's feeling the effects now.
I mean, you got the GOAT in here saying it means Beatty is bad.
Like that, yeah, Beatty's bad. And this is a team last year, Mike, they got rid of everybody that played last year. Like, that's how bad their running back room was. Everybody's
Freeman,
gone. The other guys,
Murray,
outside of Tyson Williams, those guys were couch guys.
I mean,
like, yo, you get a call, hey, we're going to need you to come play running back for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Those dudes got cut from other teams, come to Baltimore. Now you got what? The running back room is J.K.
Dobbins, Mikey Davis, and your boy they just brought in, Kenyon Drake, yeah.
Oh, and Justice Hill, I thought.
Justice Hill is actually still in the roster, which is also an interesting point that they got rid of Beatty because, like, Justice Hill got hurt last year too. People kind of forget, and Beatty's bad. That's a good point. Whoever said that. Let's get to some of these before we get out.
Perfect.
My QBs are Rodgers, Watson, Fields, Goff. This is twin caliber UK coming back for clarity on the point. Debating dropping players like Robbie. Okay, so I would keep Robbie Anderson over those quarterbacks, and I don't even think Robbie Anderson's worth dick. Westbrook, I'd probably even keep him. I don't know. You're having a conversation with Brian. Brian Edwards is I'm good on Brian Edwards, man. Like, if you had to cut him, I wouldn't be mad.
I'm not into him, but you might find a buyer. You'll probably find a more likely buyer to get something out of him than you will for Skylar Thompson.
Well, agreed.
Be real
on all three of these guys. Agreed.
Right. None of them are great. But you're asking me right now, like, I got to pick one. I can only have these dudes on my roster. It's like, I guess
we got a GOAT in the building. Ray G. What's going on, man? Gino says Jay Rich and a 23 first or Ray G. Oh, House of the Teardown. This one's pulling at the heartstrings. Mike, what do you got, man?
Let's break it down like Ray G style. What's the
Okay.
most valuable piece in the deal?
Ray G.
The 23 first.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
oh no.
I'm sorry. Nah,
Oh man, Mike,
I
that was savage right there, bro.
These are both my guys, man. So I guess you got to give me the one with the pick, right? I got to take Jay Rich
Yeah.
in the pick.
Yeah, it's a teardown, right? We stay consistent.
It's not even a tear down. I'm trading within the same tiers, and I'm getting a free first. You give me the first.
Oh shit, man.
The value. Gene with the hard hitters.
Oh, Ray's laughing his ass off. Hey, Ray, I didn't say it, man. Most valuable player in the deal. I said Ray G. Oh shit, dog, that was funny as hell. The 23 first.
The 23 first.
Oh man. Did I miss any other questions? We appreciate everybody that tapped in today, man.
Honestly,
honestly,
Rojo had a Damian Pierce or Brees Hall for redraft. Who scores more fantasy points?
Whew. I'm still going Brees Hall, man, but I mean Damian Pierce is clearly the guy now.
Clearly.
The only other thing I would say for the Pierce side would be, like, are the Jets going to be any good this year?
I did videos on Jets players.
I know. Like,
So I'm like locked in, I guess, to yes.
I think they take a step forward, but like, how good are they really? Like, how many scoring opportunities are there? He's going to probably, even if he takes majority of the work, he's probably going to split sometime with Carter. I'm just saying, like, Pierce is going to probably get the large majority of the work, and the offense is going to be bad in both situations, probably.
You got Zach out here trying to sneak an IDP, bragging, right? His trades sold Jalen Phillips in a third for Aiden Hutchinson.
Problem with Pierce is even in preseason they took him off the field. That's a good point too, Ray.
Yeah, we're gonna get way too much Rex fucking Burkhead, aren't we? Way too much.
I mean, they got rid of Marlon Mack and kept Rex Burkhead, Mike. Like that's actually one that surprised me.
Bro, they kept Royce Freeman too. So let's not get crazy.
What Marlon Mack I thought looked kind of good at spots last year. I'm so confused by that one.
Royce Freeman looked good his first year
in the preseason. Oh no. Royce Freeman and Damian Pierce. Oh no. Don't tell me that's the case.
I don't know, man. I got an offer for Damian Pierce. I sold him. It'll be on the trade show. 25 first, 23 second. I was just like,
yeah, in Dynasty, I need at least a first for Damian Pierce. At this point, if you're not getting a first for Damian Pierce, you are not selling. Like, you should be getting a first. We talked about it in Heisman, man. Like, Mike, you got a first plus. I know it's 25. People say that's not even a year, but I'm taking 25s for him.
It's not a real first, but yeah, it's still a first.
It's a first and a second.
It'll be a first in a couple years when I can use it as a real first.
Man, I would definitely get out on Pierce if you can get a first and a second. Like, that's if you get a 23 first too, I'm out. Just you give me a 23 first, I'm out on Pierce too.
Easy.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
Rocha Fish says, guess the same thing would be true for Hall though. As far as third downs, is that true?
I think at least from my shitty version of my college scouting that I could do, Brees Hall looks competent catching the football, and it actually got used that way in college. Like, he has the ability to be on third downs, where I don't know if Damian Pierce really has the third down ability.
Ray, if you're still in the building, because I agree with you, Mike, he can catch the ball. Right? If you're still in the building, the one thing I don't know is what's his pass pro like?
Yeah, what's his pass pro, and how is he at catching the football? Like, he just got used so little at Florida, it's kind of hard to tell. Right?
Yeah.
He's violent as fuck when he runs, so I'd assume he'd be a decent enough pass blocker, right? Because that's all it is just being willing to stick your face in there and get mashed up by a blitzing linebacker. So
a lot of times Ray says excellent. Okay. Well, then I think he'll get third down work sooner than later. So that's normally the only concern a lot of times for me is on the third downs. Like you said, if they can catch the football and they're athletic, can he pass pro? If he can do those things, yeah, man. Like, Senior Bowl, he was a monster in pass pro, Ray says.
This is where I'm not gonna lie, Adam. This is where I struggle in redraft because I'm so fucking dynasty focused, like
Mm-hmm.
all the time. I get and do these redraft leagues, even in home leagues, and it's like I just have a hard time separating the fucking dynasty part where it's like, who's going to score more points for 1 year? And I'm like, Brees Hall so much more than Damian Pierce, and it's probably wrong. It's probably wrong. Not gonna lie.
Give me Brees Hall in redraft, man. Give me Brees Hall in redraft. I think we're getting too cute. I think we're getting too cute if we're talking about Damian Pierce at this point.
I
honestly.
drafted Brees Hall in my redraft home league too. Round 4, best pick ever.
I got him in the BDG E-Bash. That's the first redraft one I've done, man. It's funny how when you do so much Dynasty content in teams, like you're not as familiar with the ADP, and you're really thinking about like some of those picks in redraft versus Dynasty,
for sure.
you know?
For sure. No lie there.
All right, everybody.
Sucks.
We appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Another Tuesday in the books. Mike was dry this Tuesday, but we still got him with the pumpkin spice latte and the package. It was still entertainment.
You have to check it out. Name brand, off brand will be out on Thursday. Be there. Check it out. And Friday, of course, head on over to Destination Devi. Hit it up. Spotify, Google, Apple. Podcast will be out. 4D Chess. And make sure you're signing up for that newsletter. I'm going to do a better job of tweeting that newsletter link out because, like Ray said, he is absolutely insane for the amount of free content that he lets out of that. He needs to start charging for it. But for now, you can take advantage of him being very generous. It's like Santa Claus giving away all that shit for free, Adam.
Yeah, man, I've enjoyed doing the Dynasty Alex says smash the like button. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. Smash the like button. Comment, all you guys, we appreciate it. And doing the newsletter, man, it's kind of fun too. Like I've enjoyed doing that, and then seeing my piece or your piece in there, and then reading them. Man, that newsletter is awesome. Make sure you tap in if you haven't seen it.
It is. There's a lot of good stuff in there. It's a great read, and not gonna lie, most of the time I read it on the shitter at work when I sneak away. Like I go take a dump, guys. I'll be back in a half hour.
Perfect porcelain throne material. And on that note, we are out of here. Peace.
See ya. Peace.